Hello friends, so today's finally the day when I will be planting part of the privacy hedge in our front yard. And if you remember, last year I decided to incorporate a lot more privacy in our front yard because we live in a very busy street, and honestly it's gotten busier over the years. So last year I planted 4 beautiful Cherokee Brave dogwoods, and they are doing amazing, except for one that got buck rub, but I replaced that one. Now the next layer was going to be an evergreen hedge, and I do have a part of it already, but I'm still sourcing the rest of the plants. But the front layer is here, and it is gorgeous. The front layer I will be planting these beautiful smooth hydrangeas. These are called Flowerful. And Bailey Nurseries, which is a parent company of First Editions Shrubs and Trees, sent me these to trial, and I'm so thankful for that because this plant is going to be perfect for what I'm trying to do. And smooth hydrangeas in general are very low maintenance and hardy plants, and their hardiness zone is from 3 through 8. They also bloom on new wood. So even if you prune them incorrectly or they get damaged over the winter, you will still get blooms. In fact, I have some of my smooth hydrangeas that I prune after their first flush of blooms, and they bloom again. That's how amazing they are. Now, flowerful hydrangeas specifically are standout in the world of smooth hydrangeas because they have very strong stems. So the older varieties like Annabelle tend to flop after the rain, and these are supposed to be super strong stems. They also have a lot of flower power, so they get a lot more blooms per plant. These haven't bloomed yet, but when they do, they have this beautiful crisp white color that ages into this limey green color and stays just like that for the rest of the summer, and then they kind of brown out for the winter, and you can leave them on because they provide a lot of interest. And in the spring I usually prune my smooth hydrangeas down to about 2 feet, and that's pretty much the only maintenance that I do on my smooth hydrangeas. Forgot to mention that smooth hydrangeas, just like oak leaf hydrangeas, are a native plant to New Jersey, which is important to me. I try to incorporate as many native plants as I can in my garden. So I cannot wait to start planting these. So I'm going to lay them out and start digging. Everything out, and I could not be happier. When I was thinking about adding a hedge to the front yard, I was not only thinking about privacy but also structure, because my garden is kind of wildish, so I have that very cottagey looking like bed in the front. I have a lot of native plants on the side, and I just needed some sort of structure to kind of calm everything down. And I think this is perfect because the yew hedge will have this really nice calm moment, just green, and then these beautiful flowerful hydrangea hedge will provide that color, but in kind of like a calm way. I am just so pleased with this, and kind of can't believe that it's actually happening right now. So the next step is just to plant it all. We'll see how that goes. they're all planted, mulched, and watered in. But I wanted to talk about spacing a little bit. I spaced them at about 3.5 feet apart because I want this to be a solid hedge instead of them looking like individual plants. These get to about 3 to 4 feet high and 4 to 5 feet wide. So I think after they merge, this will be this incredible solid hedge of these gorgeous white blooms. I will be watering these once a day until they are more or less established. We're actually having extremely hot weather here in New Jersey. But after they're established more or less in a couple of weeks or a month, I will be watering them maybe twice a week. Now, as for the deer resistance, these are unfortunately not deer resistant. And I do spray everything in my front yard, and I'm even able to have some hostas in my front yard. We do have moderate to low deer pressure, but in the spring it gets pretty high, so I have to protect a lot of my plants in the spring. Now I have to figure out what to do about the yew hedge. I was able to find taller specimens like these. These are about 4 feet tall. And then I ordered some online hoping, they're gonna be a little bit bigger, but they came in this size of about 18 inches to 2 feet. I think I'm going to just keep looking for the larger ones and plant those somewhere else because I really need kind of an instant hedge here. But this is the vision. I think I showed you these before. This rendering that I made for the front. So you could see the beautiful flowerful hydrangea, the yew hedge, and I'm not sure why this is not keeping straight. Also, I have these columns here. I am going back and forth with the historic commission of our town because we live in a historic district and everything has to be approved, like any changes to the front yard. But if they do approve for the columns, they would go right here. I think that would be just so amazing. I cannot wait to see this vision mature. And you could see the trees. I don't know, they came out white in the rendering. They're really light pink. As for the sun exposure, this area gets full sun, except for this spot here near the birch where it becomes kind of part shade. But in my experience, smooth hydrangeas are super flexible as for the sun exposure. They can do full sun, part shade, and even shade. So I planted some smooth hydrangeas in as little as 3 hours of sun, and they still do amazing. I am so pleased with the way this hydrangea hedge turned out, and now I just have to finish planting the yew hedge and wait for all of this to fill in, and I will definitely be giving you updates on how this space is evolving. But thank you so much, you guys, for watching today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.